Action. Hey there YouTube, Ed B here, W4EMB. Today's video I'm going to talk about tools and what tools do I use here at home. This won't be an all-inclusive video. This will just handle some of the most common ones that I use while I'm sitting here at home either checking my signal or hunting some POTA. So what tools are they? Let's take a look. And we'll switch screens here. There you go. Alright, looking at my second screen here to make sure I'm showing what I need to be showing. Alright. This is called the RBN, the Reverse Beacon Network. So if I want to see how well my signal's getting out, I can always come over here to find out. So how do I do that? Well, just fired up the rig here. I'm going to turn that up. Okay, I'm on 14066. I'm throwing out a QRL. According to my radio, my speed is at 18 words a minute. My frequency is 14066. Alright, somebody is there, so let's go ahead and move up. I barely heard them, but I could see them on the band scope. Alright, so what I'm doing, I'm throwing out QRL. Q R L question mark. Okay, nothing heard. I'm going to send out test. This is W4EMB, and remember this is abbreviated as DE. So follow along with me if you like to hear test DE W4EMB. Here we go. Okay. That definitely wouldn't be. One more time again. Alright, now I heard my phone go off just a second ago because I have myself on my own ham alert. Okay, maybe I need to add ham alert here to the end of this. So let me run over here and just add ham alert. Right, so ham alert, and we'll talk about ham alert also. Okay, ham alert, we'll click on that. Alright, we'll go ahead and log into my ham alert. Alright, let's jump over here. Okay, now we were just on this page a second ago and we didn't see anything here, but now we do. Alright, and we can see how well is my signal getting out. And my antenna is facing to the northeast. I have a hex beam. Okay, so I can see that I was on 14.070, which I did move after I heard that one signal. 30 dB above the SNR, which means signal to noise ratio. So 30 is great. Alright, these lower numbers, 3, 4, 5s, those aren't so good. But having those higher numbers is awesome. Alright, so I can see that I'm getting out to W3RGA. Wherever that one is, let's see. There it is. So I'm getting out to there at 30 dB. Okay, I'm getting out to the California station at about 4 dB. Okay, 4 dB isn't the best. But this lets me know how my signal is getting out. Now, none of this is to be used as the gospel, like written in stone. I'm not getting out anywhere else. Your signal could be making it, and probably is making it, a lot more places. This just happens to be the places that currently have a beacon on listening that my signal is reaching, that is associated with this reverse beacon network. Alright, so RBN, that's the first tool we talked about today. Alright, and now remember earlier I said my frequency is this and my speed is that. Alright, so my frequency, 14.070, seems to be consistent with all the beacons that pick me up. Let's run over here to speed, 18 words a minute. That's consistent with all the beacons that pick me up. Alright, so I can be pretty confident that my radio is aligned and sending on the proper frequency, and my CW keyer speed is aligned and sending the proper speed that it says on my rig. Okay, so that's a way of testing our rig to see if we're on the right frequency and our words per minute is correct. What else do I use for this kind of thing? I will also use RBN in graph. Okay, the RBN in graph. All right, and when I look at the graph, you can see W4EMB right there. I was about 3 minutes ago calling out. I can also see K2EJT was out there at 14048. Okay, last I had talked to him earlier, he was out doing a Parks on the Air activation. All right, and there he is right there on 14048. Okay, so RBN in graph. If I want to change frequencies, I can even adjust this slider here. If I want to change frequencies, I could come right here to the band area and I can go to 40 meters and I can look at 40 meters. If you don't see anything here, sometimes these little sliders, they'll both go to one end. So if you come here and there's nothing here, reach over here and grab a slider and go ahead and left click and drag that slider open. And you can see there's some people on 40 meters. Okay, so a few signals out there. Alright, so we've covered the RBN in graph. Next, what do I look at? Well, let's go to Parks on the Air since we did see Evan over there. Alright, and I have this set up for to show QRT stations. Let's go ahead and show worked stations because I worked Evan earlier, K2EJT. Okay, I don't see him here on the page anywhere, so he may have already been QRT maybe. Oh no, there he is. So he's on 21069. Last heard a few seconds ago. So 21069. So let's go to our RBN in graph. And let's go to 15 meters. And there he is right there. 21069. Last heard about 2 minutes ago. Along with some other stations out here. Wow, look at that. There's some other stations out there on the higher bands. Right? So this is a place where you could come, look at that call sign, go to that frequency, see if you can hear them. If so, throw your call out. Get a QSO with them. All right. RBN, you could also come in here and type in K2EJT. And I always just click over here. Now it shows that he was on some different bands, right? So if I want to see, was he on 17? Nope. How about 15? Yep, so there's where his signal's getting out. And just an idea. How about he did 20, right? So let's see where his 20 meters are getting out to. Okay. Says he's cranking out about 23 words a minute. All right, and that's about 15 minutes ago or so that he was on 20 meters. All right, so that's another way to use the RBN. Now what I have done is I've put my call sign in here, W4EMB, and I've also come over here to max rows 100, max age 30 minutes, and I saved that as a bookmark. So whenever I open my bookmarks and go to RBN, it's set with my call sign, the last 30 minutes and 100 rows. Now this yellow area, what that does is it gets dark, 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 and then switches over, and then it's real light yellow, and it starts getting darker again. That represents kind of like a clock as it's cycling through, as it's refreshing the page. All right. So now we've discussed the RBN. How well is my signal getting out? We've discussed RBN in graph. So maybe I want to know if I can hear somebody, and this shows me the call sign that I need to listen for and how long ago they were out there. This is 15 minutes. This is 0. So the higher up they are in the graph, the longer ago it was. And then the frequency is distributed from left to right across the bottom. Okay, conditions. How do I check conditions? Well, I have two tools for conditions. I'll use the Space Weather Prediction Center webpage. I also have this saved as a bookmark. I will look at this graph here. If this has like a lot of red bars in this graph, and you also see a great big red smack from where the CME or coronal mass ejection is smacked into the Earth, you'll see it on here. Okay, and it says here highest frequency affected by 1 dB absorption. So you can see that's kind of like where the sun's at right now, right? And the highest frequency affected. So if this is a red in color, that means it's up around 30 megahertz, right? Right now we're down around the 10 or lower megahertz, right? Maybe down around 6 megahertz, 7. And so you can also see that on this bar graph to the side. This is the megahertz on the left hand side, and then how many dB of attenuation is there on that frequency. You can also look over at this bar graph. Red is bad, green is good. You might see a spike in here. This is the latest observed. This is what's predicted and predicted. So you can look across to see if are there any predicted sun flares that are coming in that's going to affect how well I'll do out there on a Parks on Air activation, or sitting at home hunting parks. If I turn on my radio and I'm not hearing a lot, is there a reason why? Come here, see a great big red blop here on the map. Oh, that could be why, especially if it's covering you, right? What else do I use for checking band conditions? Well, I also use the QRZ homepage. I'll come to this window here that's always on the home page. First thing I look at is the A index. The higher that number, the worse it is. Like if that's sitting around 150 or something, it's going to be a rough day. I'll look at the SFI. We want the SFI to be a higher number, but we want that A index to be a low number. Okay. The other thing I'll look at on there is down here, I will look at the signal noise level, and the geomagnetic field. Is it quiet with a S1 to S2 level noise? If it's sitting at like a 7 or 8 noise, we're just having a bad day, aren't we? Then of course here it says the conditions, right? So daytime 40 through 80 isn't so good. Nighttime should be good, but daytime 20 meters should be doing pretty good today, right? All the way up to 12 meters. Okay, 10 meters doesn't look like it's quite open just yet. So I'll use this. Now, of course, while I'm here on the QRZ page, we'll just roll down and see what's for sale. Right, we got to do that. Let's refresh this page. Anything cool? Okay, we got a key there, a key there. Okay, we need. Oh, look at this stuff. Okay, let's quit looking for stuff for sale. All right, so we can use the QRZ page and the NOAA page there to check the current band conditions. And why is that important? Well, for when I flip over here to the Parks on the Air website, I have it set up, don't show me who is off air and don't show me who I'm hunted, right? And we can hit program and I can say, you know what, just show me the US, if that's what I want to do. All bands, mode CW, and maybe I'm just on 20 today. So I'll just say, you know what, my antenna is already set for 20. Now, this top left guy, this person was heard the most recent. Let's refresh this page. I have it saved as a bookmark. So this person was heard the most recent, K8CES, Jesus Gonzalez, out there in East Lansing, Michigan. But he looks like he's at a park here in Tennessee. He was last heard 23 seconds ago. And if you come down the page to this bottom one, this is a person who was heard 29 minutes ago. So in one more minute, they're going to fall off this page because you only stay on this page for a total of 30 minutes. So then all you do is you get on your radio and go to 14062 to see if you can hear them. Well, looks like he's in US Tennessee, so I'm probably not going to hear this person on 20 meters here in Tennessee. Now maybe the Colorado guy, I could have a better chance of hearing. Okay, and you can also look to see if you have any friends out there. WK4WC, that's Lane, Long Island CW Club instructor and member there, so he's out activating as well. So maybe I can go to Lane's frequency 14049. Oh, he's last heard 14 minutes ago. Okay, bad example. All right, Evan, he's on 14042. Okay, so he's come back to 20. All right, and we've already contacted him on 20. So maybe I'll go to this 14033 person. They're way out in California. Or 14056 for this person. Let's see if we can hear this 56. Okay, so I can hear them. So if I wanted to, I could go ahead and give them a try. Now, how do I know if a friend of mine is out there doing POTA before I come into the shack and get on this Parks on the Air website? Well, I have Ham Alert, okay? And it's an app on my phone, wherever my phone's at. And all I do is I add these call signs. So W4EMB, your own call sign should be the first call sign you have on your app. Okay, so anytime that I get on the air, my phone will go doo-doo-doo-doo, and I'll look and it will tell me that I'm on the air, what frequency I'm on, because the RBN has picked me up. How do you do that? You hit this plus sign, condition, add a call sign. What call sign? How about, I'm trying to think of N5 N5HOT. I'll add N5HOT as my call sign. What condition? Tell me if they get on a band. What band? HF. Tell me if they get on any HF, and also tell me mode if they're doing it in CW. Okay, and then I'll just hit save. So that means, so now if N5HOT gets in on HF in CW, my phone will go and it will let me know that he's out there, right? And you can add some of your favorite YouTuber POTA folks in here if you wish, right? So that you know when they're on the air, or some friends that you know that operate POTA a lot, and you want to try to help them get their 10. Now, I do come to limits, and under limits, I say, hey, only tell me once per 30 minutes for band and mode, so that way my phone just doesn't keep going off. So if your phone keeps going off because Ed keeps calling CQ, and you're like, golly, I know he's on there, you can come here and set a limit, like, hey, only tell me once every 30 minutes per band. So that way, if I call CQ, your phone will go off. Okay, you know what? I'm on 20 meters, and you won't hear it again for another 30 minutes. Or you can set that up for an hour if you wish, right? Because that's a long time to be on the air. And per frequency or per band. So now if I switch to 17, your phone will go off again, letting you know I've switched bands. So you can go, oh, let's see if I can work him on 17 and give Ed 2 bands today while he's out there at the park. So I hope that's been a little bit of an informative video. I tried to keep it short and sweet on the tools that I use here at home. Again, those tools are the Reverse Beacon Network, the RBN in Graph, my NOAA page, my QRZ homepage, Parks on the Air, and Ham Alert. Alright, if you have any questions on those, hey, drop them in the comments. And if this is the kind of stuff that's helpful for you, let me know in the comments as well. Also, shout out to my Coffee Crew supporters who buy me a coffee. Sure appreciate that. It helps out with my video and audio out there in the field. And also, any excess after that, we'll buy giveaway stuff, and then we'll hold giveaways. We recently just had a giveaway for 2 Bluetooth keyboards. I got to get those in the mail. I just got back from Ohio and didn't get those in the mail yet. Sonny, Jim, it's coming. I'll get those keyboards out to you as soon as I can. Alright, please make sure you drop me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share. I sure appreciate that. And we'll catch you on the next one. I'm Ed, W4EMB.